You are listening to the Loco Rico podcast. We condense and simplify current economic trends to empower middle class investors. Bienvenidos a la Loco Rico podcast. Yo soy George, and I'm here with my friend Brandon. We are Loco Rico. We condense and simplify current economic trends to empower busy middle class investors. Today is January 19th, and today we've got a couple topics to cover. We're going to go over the December CPI report. We're going to talk about Bitcoin's recent rally. We're also going to cover an interesting chart of the S&P 500 compared to gold. And we will wrap up with some beginner steps for starting your own business. Brandon, how you doing, my friend?
Pasa. I'm pretty good. A little bit sick with the baby and the kid. That's just part of being a baby dad, right? So, but all good. We're here today. How about you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I got up early, got my Panera coffee, got my little turmeric shot, and I've been
Ooh,
on
yeah,
the ginseng kick lately. Feeling good, dude. Feeling good.
nice.
Yeah. Well, you wanna get us going? Talk about some Bitcoin?
Let's do it. I'm gonna share my screen as we always do. We gotta have some pretty cool graphics for everybody. Yeah. So first thing we're gonna dive into is the Bitcoin price, the recent rally here to 21,000. Can you believe that? I think it's pretty. I was really surprised. It happened almost over one weekend recently here, right? So we're at 21K, and today, this morning, 20,911. If we look back the 1 month here, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
We're
that's
holding at
fast.
17, 17, 17. Looks like on the 9th, I'd say on the 10th, it really took off. And then over the course of 4 days, basically, it hit 21,000. We peaked out. We did close on January 16th and January 19th at basically 21,000. And we're just holding there right now. So let's talk about two things. Why, like just a quick overview, a brief of why this is happening, and then what the middle class investor can expect next. So as going back to the terminology here, this is called a rally, right? Where you have something that just spikes like this. And it spiked a little bit in November too, in 2021, not 2022. I'm so 2021 it did spike. So if actually we go back to, you can see here we had like this rally here in the summer, right? And this is where we had the rally of 2021, the great 65,000 closing prices here. And Bitcoin has rallies here and there, but we have this one in particular. Now, let's talk about why this is happening real quick. I think a lot of people's thoughts are the fact that people are making short sales. So, with that being said, short sales are going to sort of flood the market with people wanting to purchase, because what they're doing is they're betting that the price is going to go down. That's what people are saying. When a short happens, when people are making short bets, they're basically saying, I predict the price of Bitcoin will go down. So what people do is they actually buy it, and if the price does go down, they essentially win. So that's what I think is happening here. Is it's a short. George, thoughts on it being a short here?
Oh, I think you're trying to say it's a short squeeze is what you're
A
saying.
short squeeze, yeah,
There's a ton of speculators thinking Bitcoin is going to drop lower because it's done
yep,
that for the last 9 months, so the trend will continue is what people
right,
think. And when you get the order book, basically like all the people trying to buy or sell Bitcoin, when it's heavily offset to one side, whether it's hot buying or selling, um, sometimes you'll get financial institutions that will take advantage of this, and it's easy money being swept off the table. So I agree. I think it was a short squeeze. I think that some big financial institutions realize that a lot of retail traders are short on Bitcoin. Everyone's saying that Bitcoin is going to go to 8 to 12K. They looked at the
yep,
order book. They said, we see a good opportunity here. and they collected a bunch of money. They went out and they bought Bitcoin, and they get Bitcoin to move maybe from 17 to 18K, and that liquidates all these short traders who are trading on leverage,
Yep.
and it creates a tidal wave that kind of snowballs. So as they buy, the price goes up, wipes out those short traders,
Yep.
and then those short traders being wiped out sends the price even higher because there's less sellers in the market than there are buyers, and the price keeps going up, 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 and that's basically, I mean, we watch a short squeeze take place. That's what I think.
Right. Yep. We have the short squeeze here. So, the strong buying pressure, right? How do I say this? Squeezes the short sellers out of the market. And that's kind of what you said. It's like it essentially pushes the little guys out, right? So,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, what does this mean for the busy middle class investor? I think that if if you got some crypto, um, I think what you're going to see, I think you're going to see this price stay here. It's not going to rally anymore. And so if you bought at 17 and you have a full Bitcoin or something, and you want to make a quick 5 grand, sell, or 4 grand, whatever the math is. I would actually sell, right? Because that's a good chunk of money, and I would wait. It's going to go down for sure. And so if
Yeah.
you
I
bought, go ahead.
yeah, I know. I think we're continuing to down. I really do.
Yeah,
I think that's the
we're
move.
just going to go
But
back.
what do you think about the CPI? What do you think about last month's CPI?
Yep. So let's take a look at the CPI. Make sure everybody you sell your stuff off, and we're just going to drop. So I wouldn't buy any more, but let's move on to the CPI here. So our numbers just came out for December, and we have a CPI, a total. This is for everything, all items, inflation at 6.5%. So it went down. So we were at 7.1 December, 8 in September. We peaked out at 9 in June. So apparently things are, slowing down, which I agree with that. I'm seeing ammo prices go down. Actually, I think that's a different cause, but at the store things they do feel at least like they're plateauing. Um, and so if we wanted to look at like food at home especially, look at this. This is very interesting. Also going down. It did spike to 13% increase, coming down to 11. If you wanted to look at like energy, specifically, it's going to be like all energy. So let's actually take that out. Let's do gas and things like that. Let me take out all items and food. So we can see here again, we have this crazy stuff with gasoline. Gas isn't really something we really care about. It is going down though. Very interesting. And remember, what's going down is the rate of price increases. Okay, it's not like the price is going down. The rate at which prices are going up is going down, if that makes sense. So natural gas doing a little better. Same thing. Electricity is just skyrocketing still, which is very interesting. Probably because it's a premium now, right? Um, so I think what can this tell us? I think, yeah, if we go to commodities too, like something like sugar or something like that, um, this is, like corn, things like that. We can see that it is going down significantly, that's good. Um, so yeah, I think all in all, the CPI come out. Do I believe it? I think yeah, things do seem like in the real world, things do seem to be inflating less, right? I'm not seeing crazy price jumps like I was with cheese, right? That's our funny long running joke, right, George? Is shredded cheese at Kroger King Supers. It's like, what's the price of that? That's my tell for how things are doing. Uh,
Until they're 2 for 3, we're not back to good
we're
levels.
not back to good levels, man. So, um, yeah, George, any comments on the CPI from you? Are you noticing anything in your industry? You're in the HVAC. How are things
Yeah,
going there?
I would say this chart is not accurate just based on the natural gas price. And I don't have data to back this up, but I work in heating and air conditioning, and I've had multiple customers contact me and ask me if I can come inspect their unit in the last month because their electric bill or their heating bill was, some people said it was double what it was the month before. And I credit that to multiple things. One, it's winter time. We also just had like a crazy winter storm, so everybody's heat was running nonstop. So there was more consumption. But I also know that if you look at your electric bill or your power bill, and you can just like look up an article right now, just do a news search. gas prices, utility companies, or something like that. It's happening all over the country. Utility companies are raising their rates. It's no question about it. So I don't know where the government is getting this data from. And again, like you said, it's this chart measures rate of change, not actual price. So it's not a direct correlation, but I know for a fact my natural gas price went up in the month of December compared to November, just by looking at my two statements. So I would disagree with this chart and say that the government is publishing fraudulent information, would be my opinion.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say before we move on to our next topic is, natural gas did climb up. It did spike actually in December. So I think you're right. It went from 15 to 19% here. This
Hmm.
little, if you can barely, let me remove these other ones here. You can see this little spike here.
Yeah,
But the other thing too, right, is energy companies are essentially monopolies, right? Like they're like tiny local monopolies because
yeah,
um, it's not like I get to choose who piped gas out here. I don't get to choose
no,
that.
we have no
Um,
choice.
and
Yeah.
so it's like we're just stuck. So we're sort of at the whims. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm not sure solar is the answer because they cost $50,000 or $60,000, right? I mean, you're just gonna pay for energy. They want you to pay for energy. So all right, George. So we looked at Bitcoin price, the rally and the short squeeze. We looked at the CPI and how that's doing. What else? What's something else we can look at for the next few months here? I think you have something for us, George.
Yeah, I got a really interesting chart here that I think most people have probably never seen in their life before. Let me know when you see this chart on
I
the
got it.
screen.
You're good.
Okay, I'm going to pull this guy up on mine. Okay, so this is a chart, and let's see if we can go full screen. This is a chart it measures the ratio of XAU to SPX. XAU is a way to track gold. So we're just measuring the ratio of gold to the value of S&P 500. How many shares of S&P 500 equals 1 ounce of gold? Gold is a universally traded commodity. It's considered God's money. It's the oldest money around. Every every nation in the world uses gold as their reserve currency. It props up the value of their currency. It's a way that countries in times of desperation can sell gold in order to receive cash to buy things in the world marketplace. So gold is a very good way to measure purchasing power of commodities and things that we need in order to live and do business and be countries, be businesses, be states, be families, be people. So what this chart shows us is the ratio of SPX to gold. So here we have a big peak that I think I want to emphasize here. In August 2011, coming out of the Great Recession, housing crash in '08, stock market crash in '09, and then the economy was just in the dumps for about 2 years. Gold and silver, precious metals specifically, performed very well. So if you had gold and silver in 2011, it was worth a lot of money. So you can see on this chart, it took 1.6 shares of the SPX to buy 1 ounce of gold. So in today's value, if we come down here, it only takes point 4 today it's 0.49. It takes 0.49 shares of SPX to buy 1 ounce of gold. The value of the S&P 500 is roughly $4,000. Gold is roughly 2,000. So you're right at that 2-to-1 ratio of you need 2 ounces of gold to buy 1 share of SPX. Okay, and over the past 10 years, it's been a great time to be in equities. Anybody who owns stocks in the last 10 years made money, excluding 2022, which was a horrible year. But you can see this ratio being beautifully displayed here. Your purchasing power, if you were in gold, is just being wiped away. And if you look at the gold price, it's a perfect overlay of that. Gold went from like $2,100 right here back down to I think the lows on gold was like 1,200 or $800 somewhere in here, right around 2018. Okay, and that's when it bottomed out, the price of gold, and then it started to climb back up. You can see this, and then right here we have a really interesting spike of March 2020, right before the scamdemic, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, the COVID little thing happened, and gold went on a big rally because everyone thought the world was going to end. And then you can see again, the stock market performed beautifully in 2020. And so that was a bad time to be in equities. Okay. What I'm seeing here is this blue trend line is off of the peaks right here. And we have broken above that. And from a technical trading standpoint, this is a very appealing look. And I believe that gold is going to appreciate in the near future, probably somewhere up to this 0.68 value. And it's not that gold is appreciating so fast, it's that the stock market is losing value because we're looking at ratios. We're not just looking at prices, but we're looking at how much of one commodity gives me one, X commodity. And that is purchasing power. That tells me, I have $5. How many gallons of gas can I buy? Well, 10 years ago, you could have bought 3 gallons of gas for $5. But today, you can only buy 1.5 gallons of gasoline. And the reason why I think this gold chart is so productive and useful is because, like I said, gold is the oldest money in the world, and it is showing us right now that the equity market has basically lost momentum. And this chart has reversed, and capital flows, meaning money from retail investors and financial institutions, world governments, is flowing out of the stock market and into precious metals like gold to preserve purchasing power because of high inflation. And in my opinion, we have about 10 years here from peak to low. We've got another 10 years where gold, I think this chart reverses and gold comes somewhere up here. I think you really see gold back to this 1.39 level in the next 5 years, and that's not going to happen just through um, that's not going to happen just through gold appreciating, but also through the stock market devaluing. So I hope that was somewhat understandable for my little trading tutorial. I don't know if you have any thoughts, Brandon. Um, Want to go ahead?
It sounds like based off that the equities are going to probably go down, right?
That,
Gold may stay the same, it may go up, but we know the ratio is going to climb, right? We know that. What does that mean? It means it'll take more equities to divide into gold.
mhm.
So either gold. So here's like what I heard: gold will either go up or equities will go down, right? Or both.
There is no other scenario in my
Gold
opinion.
isn't going down for sure. S&P is not going up. That's for sure. So what does that mean for the guy, for a middle class investor? Buy some gold. Go buy an ounce. If you got $1,900, go buy one, or sell off your S&P. I think that's what
Mhm.
it means. So
Yeah, dude, I keep this on my desk every day. I've got like 20 ounces of silver right here.
baby,
Go
love
down
it.
to your local coin store and buy 20 1-ounce silver rounds, or go buy a gold buffalo, something like that. Just get your hands on it, play around with it. But again, not financial advice.
All right,
Um,
guys. So to wrap this up, some of you might be asking or saying, "Wow, well, I don't have 1,900 extra dollars. I don't have 20 extra bucks. Like, whatever." First off, you're probably doing it wrong. Okay, that sounds harsh, but you're probably doing it wrong, right? You're working at a job and you're not a business owner. And so we wanted to just really quickly take 3 or 4 minutes here and talk about how do you get into let's say, a service industry. And when I say that, I'm talking about offering a service to the world as a small business owner. So, George, you're an HVAC technician. You own your own company here in Colorado, Green Home Services, and that's what you do all day long. Is you said it earlier. You fix heaters. You weld things if needed. Right? How does somebody? What are the just 3 high-level steps for someone to get started in a service-based small business, and what do they need to do tomorrow to get started?
yeah, there's two ways you can do this. Is you you can provide a service to the marketplace, or you can provide a product to the marketplace. So you're either selling your time or you're selling goods. You need to find one of the two that you believe is valuable and also is in short supply in the marketplace. If you want to go out tomorrow and become um, a real estate agent, you're going to have a hard time breaking into the market because one, there's not a lot of volume in the market right now, and two, there's a whole lot of other real estate agents. So that, and I'm not deterring people from becoming a real estate agent, but the point is you need to weigh the value of the product that you're trying to sell or the service you're trying to provide and realize, does it have value? And if the answer to that question is yes, then you need to move on to step two, which would be you need to get legal. And in order to become an official business in the United States, you need to register with your local government. And here in Colorado, you register with the Secretary of State. And then once you register with them, it's very easy. I think it costs like $15. It's very inexpensive in Colorado. You register with them, fill out a couple forms, make sure that no one else has your name that you're trying to use as the business. And then they will give you a tax ID, which is basically a social security number for your business. Just like we as individuals have social security that we put on our tax returns, this is a legal identification number that the government will attach to your business so they can track your spending, your earnings. Financially, this is your ID number. You take that ID number to any financial institution in the US that offers business banking and you open up a business bank account. Once you have a business bank account, depending, you're good to operate legally in a business. There may be like other certifications or things you need for your industry, but bare bones is what you need to do. And once you do that, the next thing you need to do is just go out and operate. You need to generate leads and sales, become a business owner, become a entrepreneur, which at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur means you are generating your own income. So you're finding the people who are your customers, you're providing services and goods to them, and then you're collecting on sales. And from a 10,000-foot view, that is how an everyday busy blue collar or white collar employee can transition from being an employee to being self-employed. It's very simple, but it's also very difficult to do. I don't know if you got any input for me, Brandon.
Yeah, I like what you said at the very beginning, right? And let's go back to that, right? 'Cause somebody listening might be like, okay, what's my first steps? I think it's, yeah, find a product or service that the marketplace needs. What does that mean though? Like, I just want to dive into that one for like 1 minute and then I think we'll wrap up here. And it's, go Google this, the concept of a blue ocean versus like a red ocean product or service. What does that mean? I mean, if there's a blue ocean, it means there's nothing in the water, right? It means nobody's doing it. There's a gap in the marketplace, right? So, for example, maybe you're a Tesla battery pack technician. All right, I don't know any Tesla battery pack, technicians yet. That's a what I mean by a gap in the marketplace. Right, like that's for solar, like it's a battery pack in your home. That's a blue ocean. Red ocean would be HVAC or real estate. Okay, you want to get into that and you're really passionate about it. That's fine. Just know that there will be blood in the water, right? There's competition. And then the other thing, and then even one step further for new people, especially me, like I'm starting some new things right now. It's like you need to get in and just start doing. How do you know you want to be an HVAC technician and you want to like get into it? You got to go work for an HVAC company, probably. You want to get into software? Go take a software course and then work for a little firm
Hmm.
for before you open up your own thing. So you got to get into it. You got to take action. Like I think it all boils down to taking action. Don't just think about it. Stop doing analysis paralysis. Go get your feet wet. Get off the internet and go do some stuff. So, George, I think that's it, man. Yeah, dude. I think this was a great podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. Make sure to go, you know, be careful the Bitcoin rally. Watch the S&P and the gold stuff, and go start your dream job tomorrow. So everyone, thanks for listening to the Loco Rico podcast. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.